Hello everyone, this is Alan again, aka Chita, and today I bring you another episode on the COMP1 VB version 2014 analysis. Now today I'm making a video on request. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the play game Q that we've created last tutorial on part 5, if you remember, on part 6, sorry, and we're going to change this bit when we update the recent score. We're going to only allow one name to appear once for the recent score. So if we have all 3 slots filled in, then we have 3 different names. Alright, so let's go to that update recent score, and that's the bit that we're going to make some changes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop that will, so before we update the dump score as well, we're going to make a loop. So do loop that is going to fill this in, yeah. And in order to stop this loop, we're going to make a function that will tell us if the name entered has been used already or not. So let's make a function and check valid name. Now we're going to need our name as string, and we're going to need by val there'll be scores as an array of the recent score, and the whole function will be a boolean, so we return a true or false value. Now we're going to declare a few variables within this function. We're going to do dim count as an integer. We're going to give the default value of 1, and finally we're going to do valid to say if the name is valid or not, so as a boolean. And we're going to start assuming that the input is valid, so true. We're going to give a true value. Alright, now we can do another do loop. So do while count it's less or equal to ubound scores, and valid is equal true. Alright, now this will loop while our count is less than our total number of scores saved, or possible numbers of saved scores, or it will also stop if this variable that we've created, valid, becomes false. So either one of these two scenarios would end this loop. Then what we're going to do is going to make an if statement. If we called it name, so name, it's equal to scores count dot name, count dot name. I was wondering why it wasn't working. So if the name that we have right now is the same as something that we already saved, then we're going to say valid is equal to false, because we don't want this name. And then we're going to tell the user, so console.writeLine, please enter a different name. The name entered is already in use. Okay, that's fine for the if statement. So outside the if statement, we also want to say count it's plus equals 1, so always increment the value of count by 1 after after we finish everything, so right before we start the next loop. And then at the very end we need to return a value, so return, and what we're going to return will be our valid variable. So at the end we'll also tell this function it's equal to either true or false, depending on depending if the name entered by the user it's a valid name or not. Alright, so back to this first loop that we did. We're going to loop, and then at the end when we say loop we're going to do until check valid name, and we want our play name as our name, and the score. Now that's the tricky bit. I'm going to make I'm going to make recent score, because the recent score might be different than our top score. So it's up to you if you want to make it as the recent score or as the top score. Like, keep in mind that if you haven't followed previous tutorials, you will not have, or you might not have, this top score parameter. So for that reason I'll be using the recent score that you certainly have, unless you remove manually, but if you're using the default code then you will have this parameter, so you'll be able to use it over here. And that is everything for what we need to check now. Basically what's happening is that we are checking to see if the name entered by the user hasn't been used before. So we populate this variable and then we check. Now if this function returns true, then we will stop looping. Now putting this at the end of the loop means that it will run this as soon as this procedure is called. So it will run, and it will declare these variables, and then you get to the loop. So do, it doesn't have any selection, so no matter what, it will run at least once. It will populate this variable, and then after it populates, we'll check, do I need to go back there, or can I continue? So if that's equal true, then they will continue. And since we already have it populated, so we'll always have this check, and that will be all the validation that we need. So I think now we're good to run and check what's going to happen. So I'm going to keep on checking on my option 0, but it shouldn't matter because that's on the update written score. So 0. Now do you think I know that that'll be yes, so put no, and game over. So I'll put my name Chita, and let me display the recent scores. So we got Chita got 0. Okay, now let's try it again. 0 and no, and let's try to enter Chita again. Please enter a different name. The name entered is already in use. Let's try Alan, and 3 to display, and there we go, Chita and Alan, and empty thing. And that's it for today, guys. If you like these tutorials, feel free to hit the like button. If you want to see every time I post a new video, then feel free to subscribe. And last but not least, if you have any requests, any ideas that you think would be cool to do to this code, to this program, then please leave a comment below, and I will make a video as soon as I can. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.